hello world. So I want to start by asking a question, like how secure is your identity? You guys have your phones, right? We will look into that. So, I think, next, I guess. Next. So when you look at the traditional model, this is what we call a traditional model of an IT infrastructure. Back in the day when you had a perimeter, and inside that perimeter, anything good, anything allowed, easily accessible. Anything outside, not good, needs either to be able to authenticate via VPN, and so on. But, next. But in today's world, where we are today, we have home offices, we have bring your own devices, we have working from anywhere in the world. And this has created a challenge for many companies, but many startups, many people as well, in a sense where attackers have found new ways to get inside your environment. And companies don't know where and how. And this creates a challenge to secure. You can't secure what you don't know. That's my motto. If you don't know what your users are doing, if you don't know where your data is flowing, how can you secure your environment? So, next. So this brings us to a new reality. Every time I speak to companies, they tell me, yeah, but I'm a startup, or I'm just a person. They don't want me, they want the bigger guys. But the truth is, it takes more time, more effort to attack a bigger enterprise than it is to attack a small startup. Because startups technically do not put the cybersecurity, let's say, model in their business model. It's more about everything else, getting it all set up, ready to go and launch. So cybersecurity is not part of their culture. And like, why me? But the reality is that 43% of most startups are targeted by attackers. And in a sense, 60% will close their doors by the end of the year. Because the impact of that breach is way more impactful than that of an enterprise whose business model is built around cybersecurity. Even they still get hacked. So, this brings us to a new reality. Next. Yeah, one more thing. So, most startups also tell me, yeah, but how easy it is to get hacked. In today's world, anyone can hack. Like back in the day, you had to be that technical hacker sitting in the basement. We know the whole movies and everything. Today, anyone, if they really want to breach you, they can just go and buy an attack, a ransomware attack, a brute force attack, a phishing campaign. Oh, I want to start a phishing campaign against you guys. I don't know how. I'll pay someone to do it. And that's the world where we live in. So this actually brings you to the new reality that anyone, anywhere, without technical knowledge, can actually launch an attack. Next slide. And basically, in reality, is that every 10 seconds there's a cyber attack happening. And on average, it takes 207 days to realize you have been breached. So imagine that. It takes 207 until you're like, oh, shit. And it's too late. It's too late. They're in there. And then it's all about what? Contingency? Do you have one in place? Do you have a response plan? Most startups don't. And this is really the mindset that I'm really trying to change. Next. Like I mentioned, the different attacks you guys it is ransomware, phishing, vishing. My best one is the CEO fraud. How many of you guys posted you're going to be in this conference today on LinkedIn? Right? So I would be an attacker, what would I say? I would call your secretary, I would look through your LinkedIn, contact someone from your company and be like, hey, I'm your CEO, I'm stuck somewhere, could you wire me some money? And people fall for this scam. It's crazy, but it happens. Phishing campaigns, how do you know what you're clicking is truly, truly secure? Everybody clicks. You go to the internet, you go to websites, you just click, 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 click. How are you aware what you're clicking is not installing a malware on your endpoint, on your devices? That's the mindset that kind of needs to change. Next. Again, like I mentioned, the consequences for startups, way more impactful than for an enterprise because it actually could lead to you losing your entire dream, your entire business. It's hard to get back from a cyber attack. Next. So, we need a new reality. And the new reality is about being paranoid. So, verify everything. Literally. If I send you an email, verify that. If I'm your CEO, then ask me some questions. You should set up some, check-in questions that you could check with the CEO to make sure that you are who you say you are. Right? Next, use least privilege access. This is the most important thing because if your developer has God rights, sudo admin, is that a good idea? Because if I'm a hacker, I want that. That's where I go. We call it this is the golden ticket, because with that, I can go anywhere, and I can get access to everything, and you're screwed. Assume breach, meaning that you need to prepare. It's literally a contingency plan in place. If your servers go down, if you lose your data, what will you do? Do you have backups? Are your identities secure? Do you have a contingency plan? That's the mentality. So, zero trust. Zero trust is really the new model that people need to have within their business model. Meaning that, assume that everything is open to the internet. Meaning that I can find information in a click of a button. Meaning that Facebook, Instagram, all this LinkedIn information you put out there, I can use to target you with a phishing campaign. Trust no single source. Again, if I send you an email, do you want to trust that email, or you want to verify? Wow, you are really moving fast. And then basically breach containment standards, and then there are not enough humans, and this is why we need technology. We need to work hand in hand in technology to make the process of actually detecting and responding to cyber attacks more efficiently for startups, especially if you don't have manpower. If you're alone, there are systems in place you could use to detect phishing campaigns. There are systems in place that could detect malware. You need to use technology to help you be secure. Next. And when you look at the digital ecosystem, what are you securing? You're securing your identities, your devices, your applications, infrastructure, network, and data. All this work hand in hand. You can't secure one without the other. Because if you secure one and you leave it's like literally leaving the back door open and you put an alarm in the front door. What's the point? You need to be able to secure an end-to-end infrastructure of your environment to make sure that you have no entry point. They can try, but they will not enter. And this brings me to the next slide, which is why the identity is the new control plane, meaning that with your identity, that's where we start. It's your identity that leads to a phishing campaign if you click on it. So by securing your identity, you secure pretty much everything. It's a start. It will provide the basic security. Next. Sorry, could you skip those? Keep on going. Yep. So basically, everybody's been through this, right? You receive an email, you click on it, skip next, you put in your password, but this is a phishing campaign, because you put your password, you click again, oh, it didn't work. You try again, human mentality. Click again, and you're in. But in the back end, this is what's going on. Makes the point clear, right? Next. So basically, this is what I wanted to show. This is what we call an attack path. The moment you click on that email, the attacker can pretty much take 207 days to move from your email, send an email to one of your colleagues, he clicks on it, you infect that other computer, and up we go, the lateral movement to basically getting access to your data. To either exfiltrate that data and use it elsewhere, sell it on the dark web, or to just basically perform a ransomware attack and block everything. To give you an idea. Next. Protect your identities. Next. Here you can click, 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 click. So, best practices. Length, obviously, passwords. But passwords are not everything. MFA, multi-factor authentication, is key. Because regardless of whether your identity has been breached, without a multi-factor authentication, the attacker cannot get in. It's a mobile device. So unless they have your physical device or your token or whatever authentication mechanism you're using, they can't get access to it. So it creates a block. And attackers are looking for the path to least resistance. They don't want to work. They want the easiest path to getting access to what they want. And obviously, again, next, be careful on phishing campaigns. Train yourself to notice. It's all in the details. So sometimes I know we're all busy, we want to click, we want to move on, but it's all about the details. And it's really easy. Click, 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 click. Right? So basically making sure that email, urgent, website, everything is up to date. There are systems that check those for you, so you don't have to do it. Same thing. You can go to the next slide. You can go to the next slide. Just, yeah, again. Browsing the web. Next. Yep. That's what I explained. You can go. Yeah, so bringing it all together. So remember, small businesses are targeted. You are the best. You are kind of the path to least resistance. And you shouldn't make it easy for them. And we shouldn't be able to basically, if I ask you, where are you in your cybersecurity journey, you should have an idea of, this is what we have in place. And then you can have an assessment. You could create a roadmap. And slowly, again, a cybersecurity is not about a sprint. It's more a day-to-day roadmap execution that you review over the years, because each day, new attacks happen, come out, and so on. Next. So, this is the fun part. You guys have your phones. How many of you how many people here think they have not been impacted by a security breach? Do you know if your data is out there, leaked? You want to check how many websites actually leaked your data? There you go. So this is where you would go. It would be interesting. If you have 0, I'll buy you a beer. I'm serious. If you have 0, I'll buy you a beer. So this is a good place to check, whether it's for your startup or yourself. If you have been impacted by a data breach anywhere in the world, this will give you the place where you can go and change your passwords. Please do change your passwords. People still need time? Yeah? Awesome. Okay, so this is the place. Next. So yeah, about me. People think about security being like something really hard. Fun fact, I taught myself my entire career on YouTube. And today I work at Microsoft, which is one of the things I find it amazing in a sense where anyone can teach themselves a skill using any digital tool. So whether you're a startup, whether you have technical knowledge or not, it's possible to really train yourself and implement small wins within your environment, within your organization, by simply going to YouTube, or by simply going to LinkedIn Learning, or by simply reaching out to someone who is in the field and say, hey, I need help. Where can I start? I'm here to help. Thanks.